What's up you guys? My name is Mina. Welcome to my channel Mina Reads, and today I have come to you with a bit of a failed vlog, but I want to talk about this vlog. I want to talk about why it failed, and I still want to show you like some of the clips because I have been working on this video for months, and I don't know, I feel like there's a lesson to be learned from this vlog and its failures. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of share it with you and just talk through what the idea was, what happened, why it didn't work, and all that good stuff. So the concept for this vlog was going to be me reading my 5-star predictions for 2021. I made a 5-star predictions video for like the second half of 2021 because 2021 has really just not been my reading year. I have definitely found some new favorites. I've definitely read some books that I really enjoyed, but it was also full of a lot of disappointments. And so I was hoping by making this 5-star predictions video that I was going to start myself on, you know, some kind of path towards more books that I was absolutely going to love, and, you know, focusing in on books that I was just sure were going to be great. So if you have been on my channel for a little while and you've seen my past few wrap-ups, you will know that I have not been having like the most amazing reading year. I haven't really found that many new favorites, and it just has been like, it's been a bit of a slow year for me in terms of reading and finding new things that I really love. So I'm hoping that like these books that I'm going to talk about in this video are going to be new favorites, and they're going to be ones that I'm just obsessed with and I can't stop recommending to you guys. So I just figured like, let's do this 5-star predictions video, and then maybe once I read all the books we will reflect on past Mina's decisions and see if these books were actually 5 stars or not. So by like October I had noticed that I actually hadn't read a whole lot of the books that I placed on that list, and so I wanted to make a vlog completely dedicated to me reading those books. I'm going to list out the books that I did place in that video, so I have the little list right here. So we have The Dooku Didn't, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, Golden Sun, Neon Gods, Queen Move, Girl with Stars in Her Eyes, Son of the Storm, and Final Revival of Opal and Nev. So prior to making this video, I had read Queen Move, which I gave 4 stars. I had read Golden Sun, which I gave 5 stars, and I had read Son of the Storm, which I gave 3 stars. So there was a pretty wide array of ratings there, and so I figured that like, okay, this will be fun to vlog the rest of the books that I hadn't read, which there were like 5 more. Okay, it'll be fun to vlog the rest of the books that I haven't read yet. There will probably be this wide array of different ratings and experiences, and it'll be such a fun vlog, right? So wrong. Primarily I will say that I didn't really enjoy most of the books that I read, and I'll show you like the clips or whatever. So I thought that this was going to be such a fun vlog to make. I got COVID and I was sick, and then as soon as I was recovered from COVID, it was like the final season, so I was doing all this stuff for school, and honestly the vlog just got really choppy and there weren't enough updates, and it was all falling apart. So the vlog just is a bit of a mess. So what I decided is that I'm going to show you the few clips that I do have, and I'm going to help you make sense of them. So for the first book that we're going to be reading is The Dooku Didn't by Courtney Milan. I've been reading The Dooku Didn't by Courtney Milan, and this book is really good so far, you guys. I double checked with my physical copy, and like I said, I'm listening to the audiobook. So when I double check my physical copy, I'm like 130 pages into it, so I'm making some really good progress with it, and it's just very, very fun. So it's about these 2 characters, Jeremy Yu and Chloe Fong, and it is a historical romance. And so basically Chloe, she's like from a small town. Her and her father, they're currently working on the recipe for like this sauce that they want to commercialize and sell, and it's like really important to them. And Jeremy, he is this rich guy who comes to town like a few times a year, and Chloe is in love with him and he is in love with Chloe, but Chloe feels like she can't really take his pursuit seriously because he's a bit of like a jokester. He's always teasing, and she just feels like he can't be serious and she can't really trust him with her heart. So this is like a childhood friends to lovers, like a strange childhood friends to lovers type thing. It's small town romance. It's just really, really cute so far. I'm absolutely loving it, and I feel like the chemistry between Chloe and Jeremy is so well done, and their dynamic is just hilarious. I feel like they have like the whole grumpy sunshine trope going on, and Chloe, she's kind of like the grumpy one. She's very, very serious. She's a planner, and I just love her. She's just so cool, so cute. I adore her, and Jeremy adores her. He's so deeply in love with her and obsessed with her, and just reading about how much he loves her and how much he like wants her attention and to be worthy of her is just like, it's just really good. I'm very much enjoying it, and I'm going to continue listening while I do my hair. So yeah, that's the beginning of this vlog, and hopefully the rest of the vlog and the rest of the book are gonna go well. Hi besties. This angle makes me look so fucking greasy, but hello. It is the next day. I have finished both the book and my hair, so it's time to update you. I really enjoyed the Dooku Didn't. It's a really, really cute book. So I feel like if you are a person who enjoys like small town romances, I feel like you'll love this. If you like historical romances and you like if you like the like grumpy sunshine trope or like the opposites attract trope, I feel like you'll really enjoy this because Jeremy, he's a very like fun-loving, go with the flow, teasing kind of person, and then you have Chloe, who's really serious, straight-laced, type A. And so I feel like if you enjoy that, like, you know, push and pull between two different personalities, I feel like you'll enjoy this. And this book also made me like something that I very rarely enjoy in fiction, which is like the secret identity trope. I don't know why I said in fiction like that. Like, it exists in nonfiction or something and I care about it, but like I really don't like the secret identity trope in romance. I just find it like so annoying. But in this particular case, I actually found it like really interesting. It provided some nice tension, and this is a really like low stakes minimal conflict kind of romance. So I feel like the tension of the secret identity was fun to read about. I hope that I like described the book properly in the intro. So if I haven't, the Dooku Didn't is about these childhood friends. They became estranged because there's like this romantic tension between them. Jeremy, he is a duke, and he's been hiding his identity from Chloe for years, and he's scared to kind of tell her that he's a duke. He doesn't want to introduce her to the aristocracy and make her face the kind of prejudice that he has faced as a half Chinese duke. So he's kind of nervous to bring his wife, or his would-be wife Chloe, into that environment. So it's caused like all of this tension, and he just kind of has been avoiding her for like years, which is a bit insane. And so he ends up seeing her again and reuniting with her at this like festival in this small town called Wedgeford, and it's really, really cute. I really like the secret identity trope. I really loved the chemistry and the history that these two characters had together. I love the family dynamics as well, because Chloe has this really close relationship with her father, and they're embarking on like this joint enterprise. They're trying to start this like sauce company basically, and I don't know, it was just like really entertaining. It was really fun, really cute. I can't say that I gave it 5 stars because it didn't have that like that spark for me. Like I did feel like it was missing something, but it was like very, very enjoyable, and Chloe and Jeremy were just so adorable together. So I would really definitely recommend it. It was such an enjoyable experience, but like I don't know, I did feel like there was just something missing, but it's like a really, really strong 4-star. I'd highly recommend it. So yeah, with the Dooku Didn't, I was pretty decent about updating and all that good stuff. So the Dooku Didn't have like it had like a little arc, you know. I started reading it, I was having fun with it, I finished it, it was 4 stars. I enjoyed it, you know, it was pretty decent. I definitely liked it. I still like Courtney Milan. Certainly will be reading more of her books in the future. And yeah, so Dooku Didn't was a fun experience. So immediately after that, I started in on Neon Gods by Katie Robert, and this is most certainly where I fucked up the first time. I fucked up really, really badly by putting this on my 5-star predictions list, because Katie Robert is someone that I have a very, very rocky relationship with, and sometimes I really, really enjoy her books, but I would say like a grand majority of the time I don't like her books that much. But I would say that most of her books are kind of like mid-tier for me, and then some are really good, and then I've had like 1 book by her that I absolutely despised, actually 2. But this one, and now there's a 3rd book by her that I really, really didn't like. I absolutely hated Neon Gods with a burning passion, actually. It's like really late and I need to be sleeping, but I can't go to sleep until I take off my makeup. But I can't take off my makeup until I get out of bed, but I don't want to get out of bed because I'm tired. So we're in a conundrum, besties. So instead of going to bed and washing my fucking face, I've been reading this boring ass book. And besties, you want to talk about overhyped? What are people seeing when they read this book? Like, what is the appeal of this book? Because it has to be one of the most boring things I've ever read in my life. is so fucking dull. I don't even want to get into like the plot or anything right now because my brain is functioning on like 10% at the moment. But what I will say is that there is no chemistry or tension between these characters. I don't care how many times Katie Roberts says that they're so hot for each other and that they really like each other and they're falling for each other. Like, why? Why are they falling for each other? I don't feel that chemistry. They have absolutely no scenes of like real emotional depth between them. I'm like 252 pages into it. I can't figure out a single fucking reason why they like each other as people. Like, maybe I get why they're attracted to each other because supposedly they're both very sexy people, but like, it's just not working. Like, I don't really feel like they have chemistry. I don't think that they're interesting characters individually. I don't think their relationship is interesting. I don't think the sex that they're having is interesting. They're supposedly this like, oh my god, they're so freaky, and they're like, ooh, they're doing it in public. Ooh, like, who gives a fuck? It's just not like, it's just not that interesting. I don't understand like the hype. Like, this was the TikTok book of the fucking summer, and it's just like, it just exists. I feel like people must like it because it's like, oh my god, this book is so spicy, so scandalous. But I feel like, for me personally, there's a real difference between a book being explicit and a book being sexy. And I feel like this book is very explicit, certainly, but it's not sexy because I don't think that the characters fucking have chemistry, and I don't care about them. So why would I care about any orgasms that they're having? Like, it doesn't matter to me. So I'm not having fun. I just think that it was so fucking boring to an extent that just almost didn't even make sense. Like, it was just so boring to me. It was so uninteresting. I didn't feel like the characters had chemistry. I didn't think that the world that it was set in made any fucking sense. I don't feel like Katie really explains the whole like 13 concept, because in this in Neon Gods, basically, if you don't know what Neon Gods is about, Neon Gods is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and Hades is like part of the 13, which is like this group of, I don't know, politicians or something like that, and they run this city. Politicians, businessmen, I don't fully understand what the 13 are supposed to be, but Hades is a part of it, and Demeter is a part of it, Zeus is a part of it. These are important players. So Persephone, she is the daughter of Demeter. Demeter wants to marry Persephone off to Zeus. Persephone does not want to marry Zeus, so she runs away and she ends up encountering Hades, and Hades decides to take her in to the lower city, which is the part of the city that he controls, and he decides he's going to take her in, and they are going to get this revenge on Zeus, and they're going to like corrupt Persephone's public perception because she's known in the public and in the tabloids as like this good girl. Everyone loves her. She has a great reputation. So they're going to ruin her reputation by being in like this sexual relationship and like having a public like dom sub relationship that's going to ruin her good girl image. Zeus won't want to be with her anymore. Something, I don't know. For me, the plot of this book was just so fucking stupid, and in addition to it just being dumb as fuck, it's also a plot that Katie Robert has done about 15 different times in her Wicked Villain series, and so it was just boring as all hell, and I absolutely hated it. Like, I hated it. I feel like I would have felt maybe a little bit different about it if I hadn't already read her Wicked Villain series, but I have. In the Wicked Villain series, she does this same trope like multiple times, in which there's a character, the girl most of the time, who is like vulnerable. She's also the submissive, so she's vulnerable in some way. The dominant, he decides that he's going to take her in, he's going to take care of her, protect her, whatever, as long as they enter this stupid little sex pact together, and they're going to have this pact where they're going to have sex and they're going to have this sexual relationship and blah blah blah, and then sparks fly. And also the dominant is always, you know, this broody, scary, intimidating person, but in actuality they're not that at all, and they're a sweet cinnamon roll on the inside and whatever. And I just feel like she's done that so many times that I just bored to fucking tears over it. Like, I just didn't care. I didn't care. I didn't think Hades and Persephone had good chemistry. I didn't think they were interesting characters. I didn't think that the plotting or the world building or the stakes that were supposed to be like involved in the story made sense or were interesting in any way. It just, I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. And I hated it. And I think that that was my first huge mistake with this video, is that I know that I have a very complex relationship with Katie Robert, so I have no idea why the hell I even put her on this 5-star predictions list, because her books are just such a toss-up, such Russian roulette, that it doesn't even make sense that I put it on the 5-star predictions list. So here we are. Then following that, I started To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini, and I'll show you my first clip with that. Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. And so far this is really interesting. I'm about, I want to say I'm like 170 pages into it, and this book is like almost 900 pages, so insane page length. But so this book is a sci-fi like space opera, first contact with aliens kind of story. So it's about this woman named Kira Navarez, and she is a xenobiologist on this like mission, I guess, and her team, their mission is to like explore this new planet or whatever. And so they're exploring this planet, and she sees something a bit strange, so she goes to investigate. This like alien thing attaches itself to her, and so this is basically like this completely bonkers first contact thing. I feel like the alien that gets attached to her kind of reminds me of Venom, because they develop like this symbiotic relationship where they're like sharing her body, and it's really weird. It really reminds me of Venom a little bit. So yeah, basically this happens to Kira, and she gets like thrown into this whole like intergalactic war thing, because now these aliens are kind of invading the human solar system or whatever. There's not, people don't even live in the solar system. I don't know where they're living, but it doesn't seem like our solar system. But like aliens are invading, and now there's like a war brewing with the aliens. And I don't quite know how to like describe everything that's going on, because it's just like so fast paced, but it's really interesting. I feel like the world building in this is really fascinating. I'm really loving Kira as a main character. I think she's so smart and like complex and capable. And I am absolutely adoring the audiobook. I am listening to the audiobook through Libro FM. And oh my god, the narrator, she is so good at her job. Like, she needs a bonus, because she is that girl. Like, the audiobook is just fucking phenomenal. I feel like she really brings the story to life. And yeah, so far it's been a really good reading experience. I don't know how I'm gonna end up feeling, because it's still pretty early days. As you can see, I'm here and I've got all of this page count left, so we'll see how I feel. I'll update you in a bit, but so far so good. So kind of immediately after that, I got about 548 pages into this book, and I believe this book is like about 800 something pages, and I just completely stalled out with this book. I just felt like I wasn't super invested in it. I didn't really care all that much. I just felt like I didn't care. There's nothing else to say about it. And I feel like the world building in this was interesting. I do feel like Kira was kind of an interesting protagonist, but I just felt on the whole I didn't care about the progression of the story. I didn't care about where it was going. And for me as a reader, I really love character dynamics, and I felt like the character dynamics in this were really weak. And there were kind of a lot of characters in the book, and there were a lot of side characters, and I just felt like they weren't that great. And I feel like the story was kind of angling for this sort of like found family energy, but there just wasn't enough scenes to really invest me in the concept of them all having like this really strong bond or whatever. So it just was like, I was bored. One thing I will say about it, I don't think it was bad. I think the writing is pretty good. I think the audiobook was very well narrated. I also think that there's this one character called Grigorovich, and he's like a ship mind, which is like an AI type thing. I think Grigorovich was one of the most interesting characters that I have read about in a really long time, and I would definitely want to finish the book at some point someday, but for right now it's DNF. I just really was not like, I was just so profoundly uninterested in the conclusion that I just couldn't see myself reading 300 more pages to finish it. So yeah, we ended up DNFing that one. And then the next one was going to be Girl with Stars in Her Eyes by Zio Axelrod, and I read about 110 pages of this, and then I also DNF'd that one. So Girl with Stars in Her Eyes is about this girl who, her name is Tony, and her mother was like trying to be a rock star, trying to get famous when she was younger, and her mother kind of dragged her around to different venues in different cities, and she just had this whole like tumultuous upbringing until she came to settle down with her father. And when she did that, she met this boy named Sebastian Quigley, and he became like her best friend. And so her and Sebastian, they were childhood best friends, and they had made this pact that they were going to like get out of their small town together, and they were gonna like make it big together, and they had all these grand plans and promises. And essentially Sebastian like leaves when he he's 19 and Tony's 18, and she's pretty broken up and upset about that. And so the story starts out years later. Tony is trying to still make her way in the music industry. She has like a residency at a bar. She plays there all the time. She does like studio work for different performers. She wants to own this venue, so she's saving up money so she can own this music venue, or co-own it rather, and that's kind of like her big goal, is to co-own this music venue. And so one of the ways she's going to do that is she's going to try out for this band called the Lilies. They're looking for a substitute guitarist for a while, and she's hoping that she'll be able to make like a fat check, and it'll help her open up this venue that she wants. And so like there's that, and then there's like this second chance romance vibe between her and Sebastian, because Sebastian works for the band the Lilies that she ends up auditioning for. And I got, like I said, about 110. No, I feel like I got further than that. I think I got like maybe 140 pages into this book, and the book was like 440 pages, and that's the first place where I'm going to start. I don't really think that romances should be that long. I don't think a romance needs to be 440 pages. I don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. And I think that if your characters are not doing things, they're not interacting in any meaningful ways prior to the 100-page mark, like, I'm not going to enjoy the book. Just point blank period. I'm probably not going to enjoy it, because by that point, by the page 140 that I got to, Sebastian and Tony, they hadn't really interacted all that much. They had interacted maybe once. They spotted each other and had like a slightly awkward encounter, and then they had another awkward encounter where they kind of talked but not really, and then that was it. And almost 200 pages into a book, I need more than that if I'm supposed to give a fuck about this relationship. And this is supposedly a romance book. If this was just like women's fiction, maybe I would feel a little bit different, but it's supposedly a romance. And I feel like, for me, it was already failing as a romance. You know, I'm this far into the book, the two main characters have barely interacted, and it's a second chance romance, so we're supposed to believe that, you know, they had this like really profound relationship when they were younger, you know, when they were children, whatever. But we only get this one really small flashback to when they were younger, and it includes them like meeting outside in a parking lot one day, and it's just like, hi, I'm Tony, hi, I'm Sebastian, and then like I'm just supposed to believe that they have like some amazing friendship that lasted a decade and it was so important and profound. Like, I don't believe that. So I assume that if I had read further into the book, there would have been more flashbacks, there would have been more context, more something. But I don't think that it should be expected of me as a reader to read 140 pages of a book and to still have no real reason to be intrigued by your main couple. That just doesn't make any fucking sense. So I was bored. I don't think that it was like horrible. I think the writing was okay. It was kind of cliche, but like it was fine. I think that it had the potential to be like maybe a 3-star. I don't think it would have been a horrible book, but it just was not, it was not interesting, and I don't want to waste my time reading books that I'm not interested in. So sadly, it was not everything that I hoped, and I was really excited about this book because it's about like a black rock star, because Tony, you know, she's like this black guitarist trying to make it in the music industry, and I love like music industry stuff, or theoretically I do, but I just couldn't. I couldn't make it through this, and I'm sad about it. Maybe I'll come back to it someday, but probably not. And the final book that I was going to read for this was the final revival of Opal and Nev, which is another music industry story, and this is supposed to be kind of like Daisy Jones and the Six in the sense that it is a story told in kind of like this interview format, and it's about like a 70s rock star named Opal, and she's like being interviewed about her experiences in this rock duo Opal and Nev, and you know, it was about like that experience and etc, etc. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and I do intend to read it at some point, but I just cannot read it right now because the experience of making this video and like just all of these disappointments has really just colored like my whole feeling about every single book that was on the TBR for the video. So I just feel like if I start reading final revival of Opal and Nev right now, I won't end up enjoying it, and I don't want that to happen. I really wanted to love this book. The fact that I didn't enjoy like most of the books that I read for this video, I'm just in completely the wrong headspace to be starting the final revival of Opal and Nev. So I'm gonna have to quit while I'm behind, not even ahead, while I'm behind actually, because I don't want to fuck up the experience of reading final revival of Opal and Nev. So I think I'll just wait, read it in a few months maybe, and hopefully it'll be good, hopefully I'll enjoy it. But yeah, so why do I think that this video failed? So, I mean, I feel like it failed for a few external factors. I was trying to make it around the time that it was like final season for me. I was also trying to catch up on missed work after being out of classes for like almost 2 weeks because I had COVID. Also, I would say that I just genuinely, I picked wrong. Like, I picked some very poor choices for this 5-star predictions video. Like the Katie Robert choice, I just feel like that was Russian roulette and it didn't really make sense. So I think that it was just a poor choice all around. I think that the Christopher Paolini book was like, there was a possibility that I was going to enjoy it, but of all of the sci-fi that I have read thus far, I have never given a sci-fi book 5 stars yet. So I feel like that was also kind of like a clown move on my part, because like, why did I think that this one was going to be the one? Also, I don't really enjoy super long books, and this book is like almost 900 pages, so play myself on that one as well. And then we have Girl with Stars in Her Eyes. I don't really know what made me think that this was going to be 5 stars. I think it was just like wishful thinking, because I really wanted to read about a black rock star and it to be like a cool romance, and I thought that it was going to be everything that I wanted, and it absolutely was not. And then, you know, it just I don't know, I just feel like the video didn't turn out how I was hoping, but I have hope for my future vlogs. Hopefully they will turn out much better than this one. And yeah, if you watched this video, thank you for sitting with me while I reminisce on, I don't know, the failures of vlogs past. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next one, hopefully. Bye, you guys.